Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest edition of the Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Haig, and with me today is a very special guest. And not many people could say this right now, but he is the head football coach of the #1 team ranked in high school football in the state of New Jersey, the current NJSIAA non-public Group 4 state champion St. Peter's Prep Marauders, Rich Hansen. Coach, thanks so very much for joining me today. How you doing?
Hey, Jim. Great to be with you.
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time to talk. All right. Basically, what we want to do is just go over a couple of things, let people know a little bit about you, and we're going to start. You were born and raised in Hoboken, correct?
Hoboken, New Jersey City,
Yep, okay. And how old were you when football was first introduced to your life?
You know what? I first started playing in the Hoboken youth leagues at like 7 years old, and got my first taste of daddy ball because my father coached me, so I got it. And he was ahead of his time. We ran a running strip in front of him, and I was a receiver, so I benefited greatly from my father being the head coach.
Okay, and that was at Hoboken when you were 7?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then you played in Hoboken all the way up until right up to high school?
Played in Hoboken up to high school, went to St. Joe's in West New York.
Well, I was gonna get to that. What was the decision like for you to make that, to go to St. Joe's and not stay home in Hoboken to go to Hoboken High?
No, at that point I lived in Jersey City.
Oh, you lived in Jersey City, okay.
City, and my three choices were St. Joe's, Hudson Catholic, and St. Peter's Prep. And I got my acceptances from Joe's and Hudson, and Prep was the last one to come, and I did not want to go to Prep. My friends were going to Joe's. I got home early. I was getting the mail. I was making sure that I got the letter. I put it in my drawer, buried it underneath my underwear. My mother found it, and that's where she wanted me to go. And
your mother wanted you to go to Hudson, or she wanted?
No, she wanted me to go to Prep.
Oh, she wanted you to go to Prep. Okay.
But I buried the letter. She found it, and she acquiesced and let me go to Jones, and it was all from there.
Okay. And then now, did you play for both Gargiulo and Bellotti? Was Gargiulo first the head coach and then Bellotti, or was it all Gargiulo?
No, it was all Gargiulo.
Okay.
Bellotti, Jerry's first been his head coach was at Prep later on.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator at Joe's.
Okay.
So I got a chance to play for Frank and Jerry and Jim Spano, some really good guys who had a pretty big impact on me.
Okay. And St. Joe's football back then was very good, correct?
St. Joe's was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. Won a lot of football games. I played with some big guys that are still friends, till today. And we got a chance to play, get some great teams. The Paul teams back then with Tommy Vigorito and Vito Cab, Seton Hall Prep team. With just awesome, Chet Bonvecchio and some really good football players. So it was good. And back then, Hudson County football was pretty good. Bayonne was awesome. Brooklyn was on top of the world. Memorial was really good. Emerson was really good. Union Hill was good. I mean, Hoboken was rolling.
Snyder was the best team, though.
Snyder was awesome. Ashley and those guys.
Yep.
Louis King, they were awesome. They were awesome teams. And it was even Lincoln. Lincoln was good. And Dave Reeves played at Dickinson. He was an awesome football player back in the day. And it was a good time to be Hudson County and be in Hudson County football.
Okay. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are one of the rare people to play for both Harvard on the Boulevard, meaning St. Peter's College, and Jersey City State. And where did you go first? You went to Jersey State first, or you went to St. Peter's first?
I actually went to Glassboro. Didn't stay long because of family stuff. Came home, went to JCSC, and then.
And who was the head coach? Was it still Jack Steffens, or was it Roy?
No, it was Bernardo.
It was Jerry. Which Donato? Jerry Donato?
Pete Donato.
Oh, Pete Donato was. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right, and then you transferred to St. Peter's.
I went to St. Peter's,
and Coviello, the head coach then.
It was more for an academic reason because of my major, and I wanted to change some classes and do some other stuff. So it worked out because I got to play, for some really good people there, and I met Eddie Augusta, which turned out to be an unbelievable life course, for me, and so it worked out really well.
Okay. Agresta was the head coach at Hudson. I mean, at St. Peter's then. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Agresta was the head coach at St. Peter's, and when we were done, he decided to go back to high school and took the Hudson Catholic job and asked me to coach the linebackers for him.
At Hudson Catholic.
At Hudson Catholic.
While you were still going to college?
I was finishing.
Oh wow.
And he, he was trying to turn the Hudson thing around, and I thought it would be a good. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to be a football coach. I just got my first job as recreation director at the youth house, and I was excited about that, helping young guys in trouble. I started working for Ed at Hudson, and at the end of that year, at the end of the 1982 football season.
Now, did you know at that time already, while you were in college, that you wanted to become a coach?
No, really didn't.
Okay.
Really didn't. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Then I got that first job, and it was in the athletic field, and I was coaching, so it kind of just went that way for me. And the 82 season at Hudson wasn't a good season, but we made a lot of strides, and Eddie had a great plan, and he's such a motivator and was just such a great guy to those kids. You look back at it now, and I still use some of the same slogans and terms and things that Eddie used back then. He was really so far ahead of the time. It was unbelievable with mindfulness and mental preparation, that football takes. It was a great experience for me.
Okay.
It only lasted a year. Because Jerry was at St. Peter's for a couple years, and I think they were struggling. You know better than anybody.
Right.
Was in a bad place, and Bill Berkowitz, who was a phys ed teacher, had suffered a heart attack, and had an opening. And Jerry asked me if I would come over and start the strength program, take over the defense, and work in phys ed. And I didn't really want to work with phys ed, but I decided to take a shot at it.
And was that a full-time job right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a full-time job. Father Parks was the president, and Joe was a very persuasive guy.
Yes, he is.
Really, really wanted to make sure Prep got back on the map, and wanted to make sure athletics was supporting that. So I did it, and it was a leap of faith because we were god awful. I knew it. The state program started flourishing, and we started playing some good defense, and we were able to get. I remember my first year at Prep, we went 6-3. It was the most wins in like 17 seasons, and Father Browning, the principal, God rest his soul, gave us a day off of school.
For 6 wins.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
He's a good man, Father Browning. All right, so you stayed at Prep, and you were the defensive coordinator right away. Jerry put that kind of faith in you, and
yeah, I owe him a lot. He really put a lot of faith in me. Gave me a ton of responsibility. I did college placement. I did, defense. I ran the strength room. I was a busy guy, busy 24-year-old guy, whatever the heck I was, and I loved it. Kids were great, and it turned out I almost left a couple times, but decided to stay for different reasons. And
when you say you almost left for a couple of different reasons, was that to be a head coach somewhere else in high school sports, or did you were thinking about going into the college ranks?
You get to a point, and I had decided that I wanted to be, at a place that I would be secure at, and that was in those days, and maybe it is today for some people, public sector is the way to go. So I interviewed for a couple jobs, and actually was a finalist in one, and had to make a decision if I was going to go to final step. And Father Parks called me in and asked, kind of talked me out of it, and had great reasons, and they all came to fruition. So the other ones were for college opportunities.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I wound up passing them up, and I never regretted it for a day.
Okay. Now, at that point, were you already married?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, you're married. This was the time that you had to make a decision. You were thinking about a family, not just for yourself. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Family security and trying to do the right things and build a life and try to get things going. And sometimes I learned that sometimes the best moves you make are the ones you don't.
Okay. And then, lo and behold, what is it? A year later, Jerry gets a promotion and becomes the director of development, and asks you to become the head football coach. And at that time, you were what, 27 years old, 26 years old? And did you think you were ready to become a head football coach?
Well, yeah, I mean, he had that job. He was the director of development, the head football coach. And, it was a little smaller scale than it is today, but it's still a lot to handle. And I think he just felt like he just didn't have the heart to continue with the football part of it. And I think he thought he brought it as far as he could. And I think in his words, when I was announced, it's time for somebody else to take it to the next step. So, was I ready? Who knows? I know I was cocky, and I know I was
cocky? No.
I was going to do everything I could to be successful, and I thought I had a formula, and I thought I had a plan, and I thought I had good support, and turns out the 87th season was my last as an assistant. I took over in November of 87, and so 88 was my first season as a head coach, and we just kind of built it from there.
And lo and behold, a year later, you're playing for a state championship, the first one ever. And how fortunate was that you were able to go from 2 years before you're 25 years old and an assistant coach, and now you're 27 and a head coach, and you're winning a state championship. Did you think it was going to be that easy?
You know what? You do. You start to think like, hey, man, I can do this every year. Nothing. 88 we were 9-1, and 89 we won it. Probably one of the greatest games in the history of high school football, with an absolutely monster tough team. They were just that group was really special. The 89 guys, and
they were all nuts. That's the reason why they won. They were out of their minds.
Yeah, they were special.
Yep.
But let me tell you, in 90, a very neat year. We lost a lot of guys. And I found out that those things are hard to come by, and you better appreciate them when they happen and embrace the grind to get there, because it takes a lot.
Right. Okay. Then I'm not going to say you hit the skids, but you were putting your team on the, after you won it one time, you started to put the team on the map to be building a tradition. 94, it happens again. And that 94 team, it's going to be very hard to pick one that's better than that 94 team. That was an extremely special group, and especially it was special for you because your brother was one of the key linemen on that team.
Yep. Yeah, he was the co-captain. He was a good player. They were a special group of guys. They're still very close knit group. We had just a great chemistry, And even the 91st team was a really good team.
Right.
We had a ton of injuries going into the playoffs, and playing with like a fifth string back, and just a bunch of injuries and a bunch of academic issues, stuff that, we tried to work through. We wound up losing 7-0, but we finished. That team still has a record. We gave up 19 points in 10 games.
Is that true? 19 points in 10 games?
19 points in 10 games. It's still a school record. I don't know about, I'm sure somebody has.
I don't think that'll ever be matched. Yeah, it
was rough. That was a crazy good defense. And, but 94, those guys, a lot of those guys were back and were able to put it together. And like you said, that was a special group. And, beating Bergen would have been the national champions the next day had they beaten us. Beating Bergen was a great win for us.
Well, that was a memorable season because I'll just, interject with my memory. Second game of that season, you guys played Ferris down at Caven Point, and I sat there with my mouth wide open as I was walking on the sideline saying, oh my God, this team is phenomenal. They have no flaws. So I remember walking past G. Peterson, God rest his soul, and I said to him, I whispered in his ear, I said, you know what? If he loses a game with this team, he should be fired. Right? And you beat the hell out of Ferris, and you beat the hell out of everybody that year. So, right? And then I remember going on, I might have been with Mike Quick on MSG Network, and he asked me who did I think was going to win the game against Bergen Catholic, and they were the ranked number one team in the country. Number one in the country. And I said, and he asked me who's going to win the game, and I said, St. Peter's Prep's going to win the game. And they say, oh, because you're saying that because you went to Prep. I said, no. They're the best high school football team I've ever seen. And they said, what makes you say that? I said, they have no flaws. There's not a flaw on the team. I said, they're gonna win the game. Right? And sure enough, it was 26-7 with about 6 minutes left to go in the game. And I'm on your sideline, and G. Peterson walks by me and taps me on the shoulder and says, I guess he gets to keep his job. He was the best. And that's my lasting memory of G. Peterson. That and the fact that you won that game in perhaps the nicest day we'll ever see in December ever in our lives. That was a beautiful day. It was about 65 degrees and sunny, and it was a great day all around. And I was in the runway when the kid who was the quarterback, I think it was Cielo was his name, from Bergen Catholic, yelled in the runway, said, "Hey guys, thanks so very much for showing up for us for our party." Right? Yeah. And I remember James Souter turning around and saying, "F you! What do you mean your party? We're gonna kick your ass!" And sure enough, you guys kicked their ass. And now you've got 2 state championships in 5 years. And now you got to say to yourself, hey, this comes really easy, right?
No, hell no. I learned that lesson, buddy. In this day and age, let me tell you, I have so much respect for the players in our league and our bracket and the coaches. Everybody works so hard at this thing. The game has changed so much. It's almost, you take the exhale after the state championship if you're fortunate enough to play in it, or whatever your last game is, you just exhale that, man, we made it through this gauntlet of craziness. Every week is a fight. Every week is a war. You have to prepare hard every week. And so, listen, you cherish these. And I knew going into this game that we had a great chance to win. And I promised myself that I wasn't going to go crazy. I wasn't going to jump up and down. I wasn't going to lose myself in it, even though I wanted to. I just wanted to.
What do you mean? This past year? This year?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you were as calm as a cucumber. I never saw you have a least amount of emotion than you had at this game. None. You had,
I wanted to get the visual of the kids. The kids are so excited. They were so pumped up. They believed. They never stopped. This team never stopped swinging, and that's the way it goes to my teams. And I just wanted to watch them and enjoy them and enjoy my coaches. You know what? That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun just to kind of just observe everybody and just so happy for my seniors. So happy for all these guys coming back. We were a pretty young team.
Yeah.
We have a chance to do some good stuff. So it was a great experience for them, and that's what it's all about.
All right.
I enjoyed it. Well, trust me when I tell you, they're hard to come by, man. I respect I respect the chip because it's hard to get.
Okay. Now talk a little bit about that little lull that you had from 94 to 2005. Some good teams along the way there. You had some good teams and some that a lot of people thought that you had the makings of being yet another state champion. And it just didn't happen. And were you saying to yourself, okay, well, I got two. Maybe that's all I'm going to get. Who knows? Did that thought ever cross your mind when you hit that lull a little bit there between 94 and 2005?
No, I think 96 was I try to take something every year. 96 was a good year. Joe Tomatolo and Anthony Jordan was one of the best players we've ever had, and all those guys they just play with so much heart. We were 5-4, I think, but we were a good team. We were in every game, and we had a chance. We just didn't have enough horses up front. And then 97, 98, we were kind of backseat group, and but the thing that kept me going was that we had great kids. Billy Smith was my quarterback, and you can't ask for a better guy.
Not at all.
Lead you, and DJ Zoo and Nicky Edwards, and all those guys. They were just, Dave Iorio. I mean, they're just really good people and really good guys. And then we got to 99, and we had a little bit more. We had a bump of talent. I thought we were pretty good, and I think we won 7 games. And then 2000 and 99, we had a good class coming in. Joe Daly and Adam San Miguel and my son Rich and those guys. In 2000, we kind of felt the rejection, and we had some really good football teams. I will tell you. I mean, Bergen Catholic had some awesome teams those years too.
Right. 99. That 99 Bergen Catholic team was incredible. They were very good.
Yeah, they were good.
Yep.
Then came the resurgence of Bosco. Jackie Moore started to get it going.
Yep.
And then Greg took it over and kept it rolling. And we had some awesome football teams. 2000, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
4.
Yep. Those teams were very good with Michael Brown and Deshaun Jackson.
We went in 05 with a really good team and a young sophomore quarterback named Will Hill. And in 06 we were 11-1. 07 we were 11-1. And 01 was to the best team in the country, Bosco, those years. And we beat them in 05 and then, lost to them in 06, 07. And listen, we probably, any other year, any other time, against any other team, we win 3, 4 more during that stretch.
Right.
But we lost some great football teams. I came out of those games, pissed off. But, listen, we lost some great teams, great players, guys that are on the Bosco team that I still talk to. And so I respect them, and you just learn from it. You get better from it. That's what we tried to do along the way.
Okay. And then you just kept plugging away and kept going at it and figured, okay, we'll get another chance. And when the two kids came strolling through the school and you get Brandon Wimbush and you get Minka Fitzpatrick, did you say, okay, we got two of the best players in the state, both walking our halls. Did you say, okay, maybe this is our chance?
Yeah, I mean, when those guys came in as freshmen, we knew 2011, we knew that they were going to be a good class, keep them together, keep them working, keep them humble, keep them selfless. And that's what we tried to do. And, we probably would have, again, 13, we probably would have beat Paramus Catholic if Brandon didn't get his concussion because we were so depleted at the quarterback spot.
Right.
But we did it, and it was it was an effort probably I'm the most proud of in all of my time at prep, because our guys just kept swinging, man. They didn't give up, and we wound up going, John Hillerman and Corey Cattle running Wildcat.
Yep.
And quarterback ready, and we just weren't able to pull the game off, but it left great foundation for the next year, and the next year was special.
Yeah. Although the conditions weren't special, but that was a special team. The conditions were awful. That was one of the worst nights of my life as a sports writer, trying to stand there and cover that game in the absolute pouring rain. It was just, I don't know how it was good for you guys trying to play in it, but in terms of trying to cover it, it was awful.
This is the first year that we played at night at MetLife, and it didn't rain or snow or do something stupid. So that was a rough night. And the next year wasn't a great night either, but the result was great, but the conditions weren't quite as bad, but they weren't optimal either.
No. And then and the next year, Paramus Catholic was just a better team than you. I'm right. There's no denying that. They had 3 running backs that were just incredible. And you couldn't match them punch for punch. Correct in your eyes?
13.
Yeah.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, we lost 13-6, but we lost Wentworth.
No. I'm talking about after you won in 15, they beat you in 16, and they were just a better team, right? Paramus Catholic.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had our chances again, but yeah, probably. It was great to get back there. We had some good players, and we didn't have a lot of depth up front, but a bunch of new starters. But those guys really gelled together. There's been getting another shot at it.
Okay. All right. So now this year starts. 2019 starts. Did you think in your heart of hearts that you had the makings of being a state champion, or did you say to yourself, boy, oh boy, we're playing so many young kids, so many inexperienced kids, it's going to take a really superhuman effort to win a state championship?
You know, we were very young, especially on the line and the O-line. And I just wasn't sure. We had one senior on the offensive line. And, to me, that's the difference in high school football, man. You better be able to compete up front.
Yep.
If you can compete up front, you can grind it out and do some different things. If you can't, you don't have a team. Not our back, not our league. So I was concerned about our depth, and I was concerned about our development up front. My offensive line coach is Joe Rotundi, and Joe's been around for a minute, so he's got it down. And he did frustrated at times, and had to endure my wrath at times, but Joe works really hard at it, and he knows his stuff, and he got those guys going. And lo and behold, they had some unbelievable games down the stretch, and certainly played well enough for us to compete and to give those skill guys a chance. Our skill guys were even, the young guys, Zaire Miller and Jaylon Sanchez, the older guys, Jelani and Ship.
Yep.
And Shipman, Shazier Sullivan, Junior, who's back. And, the young guys, the 3 young guys who are back, did a phenomenal job of developing as the year went on, and they were unbelievable. And Jelani, too. Jelani
Right.
was the top of the year and had an okay year last year. Really did a good job as Robin. This year as Batman. Unbelievable.
Okay. How about the fact that this team went into the fourth quarter either trailing or tied 5 times and yet still won? And how amazing is that? In high school football, you don't see that. You really don't see teams that come back in the fourth quarter down as many times as you did and come back and won. And then what does that say about about the intestinal fortitude of your football team?
Yeah, I mean, I've been asked this question 1 or 2 times. And I think it's a multitude of things. I think, number one, in our league, for the competition we play, I always tell our kids, everybody's talented. Everybody's got skill guys. Everybody's good. So you have to do things differently to create separators from the pack. And I think our guys did that. We created some things that are different in our culture and the way we do business and our attitude, not just on the field but off the field. And I'm so proud of them for believing, because football's hard, man. You don't, at our level especially, in our league, in our bracket, it's a grind. And our guys found ways to make themselves better other than just football players. And they really love one another. The chemistry is unbelievable on this team and in this program. And they never, ever walked on a field and thought that we were going to lose a football game. From, Paulie Lefkowitz to, Ethan Rodriguez transfers over and does a phenomenal job for us. Got guys like, I'm talking about all the underclassmen, guys like Brooks, Who's unbelievable. KJ, Miles, unbelievable. Christian LeBron. We have a corner by the name of Avery Powell, who is just like that warrior.
Make great plays down the stretch, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of young guys who believe in what we're doing.
And you didn't even mention the one.
The two final things. One is we have a quarterback who's the best in New Jersey and maybe beyond.
Okay.
And who just, can come up with stuff and extend plays and make chicken salad out of chicken soup. He just special. He's just different. And then, strong senior leadership. There aren't a lot of people in the world, never mind players, there aren't a lot of people in the world like Cody Simon, Ben Silver, Colin Elliott, Drew Robinson, Austin McCaffrey. There aren't a lot of people in the world like those guys.
Right.
And they kind of willed us and led us, and young talent just, bought in. And listen, guys want to win, and guys want to be pushed. Guys want to, excel. And these guys just refused to believe that we were going to lose to anybody. So whenever fourth quarters came around and we were down or it was close, I turned to a couple of my sisters in the state championship and I said, "Hey, we got them right where we want them, baby." We've been here before. So just a great group of guys. And let me just tell you, you can't do all that if you don't have a staff. My staff is, I'd be hard pressed to figure out a better staff in the state of New Jersey.
Two guys who were very successful head football coaches. As a matter of fact, three. If you want to include Guasconi, but you got Guasconi, and then you got Rotundi and Eddie Sadlock, who were both highly successful coaches in their own head coaches in their own right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Eddie's won over 200 games, and Joe had a good run, and Mike was with us, and then left, went to North Bergen, and did a great job there, and came back. Not having him around full time is something that probably hurt us in some regard. But my son does a magical job with the defense. Ryan O'Flaherty leads this stuff as the offensive coordinator, and then the rest of the staff is just guys that live and bleed and breathe prep football, and they're full-time workers who wanted to save out Huggins this year. One of my former players is like a son to me, and was just unbelievable with the running backs and with the strength part of it. As an assistant strength coach in the building, he's our director of NCAA compliance.
He hit the ground running as an assistant coach, didn't he? He hit the ground running.
Man. He gets it. He gets it. He wants to coach in the NFL someday. So he understands the work, the grind that's expected, and he was in it. He was a player. He was an All-American for me. He gets where I'm coming from. He gets what the program is, and he's willing to pay that price too. So just overall, we have some really good young guys, good mix of guys, some guys that are eager to coach and learn, some veterans. John Fanning came over and did a great job. Greg Tucaro works with our receivers. Those guys, they were awesome. Billy Johnson, veteran guy who's coached college level, coached all over the country, for Christ's sake. The guy is one of those quiet, rain man, genius guys who works on the defensive side of the ball with my son, and they're just unbelievable. So,
right.
I mean, I can go on and on. Mark Dixon, played in Notre Dame and does a good job with the D line, and JJ Neshwad. I mean, I'll forget somebody and they're going to be pissed off at me, but
Isaac.
Ike does a great job. Played at Rutgers, started at Rutgers.
Right.
High school player in Hudson County. Gets it. We have a real good chemistry. And
Nice year, Oliver.
Nas, came back this year. And was awesome for us in the secondary. Again, former player who gets it, knows the school, and knows the expectation. The barometer doesn't have to be explained to him. He gets it.
All right, I think we mentioned everybody now.
I hope.
All right, but all in all, I know you don't want to compare any of your five, but of the five, this is probably the one that's the least likely of the five state champions, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's funny we were talking about that. We're probably a year away from expectations, but that's okay. We just accelerated it 1 year and just puts a little bit more pressure on this group. But yeah, 89 going into that game against Jones was, we were the big time underdog and we were able to win it. Going for two at the end with Paulie Mulcahy and Guma. They were a tough group. I mean, I could say something special about every one of those teams and some of the other teams, but this one, I think you hit the nail on the head. Probably put those five up, they were probably the most unlikely to go to stretch against this schedule, and that's the biggest difference.
Yep.
This schedule is different.
Every week, week in, week out. Week in, week out is a challenge. Every game is a challenge now.
Those other guys got the breathers along the way. These guys really did not. Every week is a mega war, so, football mega war. So, it was special from that regard, and maybe that makes it the most unlikely, but not from a talent standpoint, an effort standpoint, or a belief standpoint.
Okay. That's a good answer. Okay, because I mean I was there. I'm lucky enough to say that I was there for all five, and quite honestly, this one was the one that was, the least likely. And the other thing I would say about this year, this championship game, how in the world would you ever describe that you'd get two special teams touchdowns? Who gets that in high school football? Who gets two special teams touchdowns? The Simon play is one of the best plays in the history of prep football. I mean, six Bosco kids stood around and watched that ball roll, and he comes by and picks it up and runs, and he was 5 yards past everybody before they realized, oh my God, he's running it back. I mean, it was just that was just a great play. Yeah. Special kid.
Earlier that week, my son, we've been having a special meeting with my son that I think we should put Cody back in.
Yeah.
He's got the most reliable hands, and they don't have a great kick game, but they get a lot of rolls, and I'd rather not give them. I said, okay, fine. That's great. So it was explained to Cody that he was back there to be the state hands guy, and blah, blah, blah. Thanksgiving, we went out, and we got return as we go specials, and I said, by the way, you're not here just to fair catch stuff, so, if you think you got something, you can take it, okay? Like I was being.
The wise guy. You weren't being truthful, right? No.
Cody comes off. Does he see something? So he comes to the side and goes, I saw something, Coach. I saw something. I said, yeah, apparently you did, buddy.
Yeah. Nobody else did, just him. No one else did. And then of course what Avery Powell did is, it's part of legend. It's the one. It's the thing that's going to make everybody remember him for the rest of our lives, much like we do Andrew Booth. Andrew Booth made that interception and ran it back and did the backflip into the end zone, and that's 14 years ago, and we still remember it. So it's part of prep legend now. There's no question. Yeah.
And quick, let me get this phone on it. Watch it. Avery's going to give you a lot of things to remember about the next year, so I promise you that.
Okay.
He's not finished.
He's not finished. No.
Okay. He's not finished. He's a sophomore who's got a load of talent and.
Yep. All right. In terms of moving forward, okay, and I think you and I discussed this, but we're going to discuss it here too. Is it safe to say that you're going to be coming back next year as the head coach?
Well, here's what I do after everything. I ask my staff on Monday, January 6th, we are all going to make a commitment one way or the other to one another, and spend the next 4 weeks looking in the mirror and figuring out if you can give this what you need to give it. We've talked. I've talked to staff members. I've always said that I want to end this part of my career 1 year too soon rather than 1 year too late.
Right.
Talking about this. I love my staff. I love our school first and foremost. I love the program. Our president, Mike Gomez, is a dynamic guy with great vision, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. as is our chairman of the board, Phil McGovern, who's a prep alum. I've spoken to them, and I think at least coming back for this year is something that I do want to do, and I think we have there's something special going on, and I want to leave it with something special going on. So this is a year-to-year thing. I'm not going to stay around 1 year too late. I promise you that.
Okay.
So I'm energized. We've had a few days off here. I'm energized. I was up at school today. We're getting a workout in, and guys are pumped up. So I'm excited for the season.
Okay.
We'll
you told me I would be one of the first ones that you would say if you were coming back. So I guess now you've just finally told me you're coming back.
You're the very first. The first time this is happening about outside of my staff.
Okay. All right. So that's good to know. No, not many people are going to hear this for another couple of days. So maybe you could tell. This is not going to get released until next Wednesday. So it's going to be. Go ahead.
It's not on the priority list for me to announce one way or the other. As far as everybody's concerned, I'm a football coach. Unless something crazy happens in life, that's where I'm going to be, and I want to be with my guys, my staff, my team, and we want to try to, go back to work, prepare, win, and repeat. And that's the goal.
Okay. All right. Now, talk to me a little bit about all the different hats that you wear. You are the athletic director, obviously, but you have been for the last, at least 25, maybe 30 years, right? How many years have you been the AD? 31. Okay. All right. So that's not anything new. You've been the president of the Hudson County Interscholastic Athletic League since that was formed. I guess it's now 10 years ago. So that's nothing new, right? But you have added the presidency of the New Jersey Super Football Conference, and that is new. And what how does one wear all the different hats that you wear, and not obviously all of them are paid jobs?
Well, you know what? I stopped being the president of the HCIL because I thought it was somebody else's time and turn, and it turnned out to be good for me. And,
oh, you're no longer the president?
No, I'm I serve on the committees and all that stuff, but. Derek England, now the president, and Jerry, my vice president, Jerry Mayetta, replaced me. So it's in good hands, and the league is fine.
Okay.
Super Conference is just special. Bill Powell and I served on the committee of the NJSIA Fox, and this thing got spun out, and Joe and I put a head together. Joe had a great.
That's a scary thought right there. That's a scary thought that you and Joe Pyro put your heads together. Talk about two jugheads. Two jugheads together. Oh my God.
It's really spun to be something really, really special in my mind. The largest football conference in the country. Some great coaches, some great players, some great schools. The governing of it has been an experience, and I have a great executive committee. Joe is the past president. Dennis Nelson is the first vice president. Danny Vivino, John Ferraccio,
okay.
My brother in Hudson County, friend. Ron Stan Football is the executive director. It's just a great group of guys. Ronnie Anello's involved. It really it's something. John Porcelli is my treasurer. There's something special to football, and it's something special to putting this together and not keeping it on track, and keeping it growing and improving. And that's I'm the president. That's my charge to expand and make this thing better. And it takes a lot, but it's fun. And again, same as being a football coach and athletic director. As AD, I have great coaches that work. I have great guys that believe in what we're doing, and women who believe in what we're doing. And it's the same with the Super Conference. They're great guys that care. And I'm excited for the league, and always excited about our teams at prep. And there's some things that I have on the horizon for us as AD that I'm going to tackle. And when I do stop coaching football, I'll devote even more time to that.
So one of them is putting a pool on the roof? Yeah, no. When I was a senior, I typed up things that were like little slips of paper that I had seen. I had the freshmen that could sell them, and there was for 50 cents, and it was called an elevator pass to the pool. And a lot of the kids didn't realize, and I was just being a wise guy and got away with it. So.
Yeah, that joke still goes around on the first day of school for freshmen.
Oh well, see, well, that was I'm the one who started it. Elevator pass to the pool, and I typed up the things and I handed them out to kids, and I remember there was a teacher by the name of Stone. He taught Western civilization, and he asked one of the freshmen, "Where did you get this from?" And he goes, "I don't know, some senior named Haig," and he just went figures, like that, like. And I sold it for 50 cents. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was without question, it was fraud. So after 40 years, I guess I can get arrested for fraud. There's no question.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, the swim coach wants a pool, the hockey coach wants a rink, the tennis coach wants a court, the basketball coach wants auxiliary gyms, the wrestling coach wants a wrestling room. Everybody wants something. But
the wrestling coach has a wrestling room. What's he complaining about?
Our facilities have grown at a good pace, and we're going to continue to look at different options athletically and hopefully be able to keep pushing that direction.
Okay, and then lastly for me is that the Super Football Conference this year will begin something that's got to help everybody, and that's going to be the Ivy League, which is going to help the teams that have been struggling for year upon year, and they'll all have a chance to play for a championship when they would never get a chance otherwise. And so how did this all come about? How did this idea of the Ivy League come about?
Again, it's innovative thinking on the part of the executive committee to come up with a league for struggling teams to try and save the team. Numbers are a problem for a lot of people, even programs that aren't, Group 1 schools. So, part of the equation is to help increase numbers, and it's hard to increase numbers when you're getting whacked every week and you're not winning football games. And our idea was to put a league together of these struggling teams by virtue of their consent to be in it, so that they could compete against one another and have an opportunity to win some games, build their program, do some great things. And the only problem, not the problem, but the only trade-off to them is that they will not be in the state playoff.
No.
They play for an Ivy League championship, and we have a really good balanced league of schools that are struggling that are going to take advantage of this, and I think you'll see the end result will be a better experience for kids, and B, hopefully increase numbers for these programs.
That's correct. Yeah, I think it's the best thing that your Super Football Conference has done, other than your division, which is clearly the best football division, if not definitely in the state and maybe in the entire country. So, but the Ivy League itself is just is going to help these struggling teams. And there's no question, kids are going to now have a chance to play for something whatsoever, and it's an innovative process. There's no question. So.
Yeah, and credit to the guys in the league on the executive committee. Like I said, Dennis, Joe, Johnny Ferraccio, guys. We put our heads together for a long time over this, and it doesn't just happen overnight. And I think it's the first of its kind in the state, and I think that intentionally done this way. And I think it opens the door for even more things in terms of helping the game, saving the game, making the game better.
Okay. So all in all, I mean, you right now, you're sitting on top of the world. You got a great family. You got a bunch of grandkids now. How many you got? 13, 14 grandchildren? I don't know. How many?
Come on, man.
All right. All right. And then you're getting inching closer to 300 wins. I know that some sports writer had you at like 267, and you're actually in the 280 range somewhere. So you're getting inching closer to 300, which makes you right now number 2 on the all-time win list in the history of Hudson County, trailing only the legendary Vinny Escalese. And so the world is good for you right now. You can't complain, and you look pretty good for somebody who's 66 years old.
I'm not
Yeah. Okay.
Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
You know we're the same age, so I look a little better than you, but that's not bad.
No, you look a hell of a lot better than me. That's not hard to do. You know, as long as I could stay from getting knocked down on your sidelines, I'd be my life will be a little bit more extended as well. Oh, Rooks really nailed me good. There's no question. I didn't see it coming, and he nailed me good. And then you said, "Oh, well, that pays you. You know, it pays for you to turn your back to a football game." You know, I was real smart. So you were right. Yeah. So, but all in all, things can't get any much better for you than it is right now, can it?
No, I'm blessed, man. I'm in a great situation. Like I said, I work at the best school in New Jersey and the East Coast, maybe the country. It's a great place, and I have great kids and a great staff like I said. So, yeah, things are good. I'm enjoying it, and I'm appreciative. I'm grateful to be in this city.
Give credit to your wife and your kids, please, too. I fed you that line. God.
Great family, great support, and they're all part of it. You know, they grew up with prep, and makes it even more special.
Right. And your wife is named Elise. Can we say her name?
Correct.
Right. Okay. And your 4 kids. Go ahead.
Rich, Nicole, Kelsey, and Dan.
There you go. All right. And 6 grandkids, right? No, I gave you 13, but you only have 6, right?
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah. 6. So, all right. But all in all, there's the one thing they can't say. There's only one coach in the state of New Jersey that could say that they have the number 1 ranked team in the state, and the state champion in the toughest bracket in the state, and that's you. And congratulations, Coach, on a great football season. It was fun to be around it, and look forward to gearing it back up again in 2020.
Amen, brother. Thank you. I appreciate the conversation.
And thank you very much for starting the new year off in a right well. You know, 2020, I started off with you. Not bad, right?
Okay, it's all uphill from here.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Coach, for spending some time with me. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye. And that was Coach Rich Hansen at St. Peter's Prep, whose team won the state championship this year, beating Don Bosco Prep at the Meadowlands. And as he just announced, he's planning on coming back for another year. So he'll get another year with the great Tajamel Bullock at quarterback. And he's a fun player to watch, there's no question. So it's a great program, and sure enough, we have the number 1 football team in the state of New Jersey right here in Hudson County. This is Jim Haig signing off for this week. Thanks so very much for listening, and we'll be back with another edition of the Hudson County Podcast, the Hudson County Sports Podcast next week. Thanks so much for listening. Happy New Year, everyone.